Hello everyone, myself Reema Rawal, Assistant Professor at LG Institute of Engineering and Technology in the Department of Electronics and Communication. Today we are going to discuss the subject Data Communication and Networking, and in that we will consider unit number 1, that is Introduction to Data Communication and Networking. In this unit, today's topic is the ISO OSI reference model. Let us see the introduction part. This model is based on a proposal developed by the International Standards Organization, that is ISO, as a first step towards international standardization of the protocols used in various layers. The model is called the ISO OSI, that is Open System Interconnection Reference Model, because it deals with connecting open systems, that is systems that are open for communication with other systems. So this is called as ISO OSI reference model, which means International Standards Organization Open System Interconnection Reference Model. The first computer networks were designed with the hardware as the main concern and the software as an afterthought. This strategy no longer works. Network software is now highly structured. In the following sections, we will examine the software structuring techniques in some detail. Then, for network software part, we are going to consider main two models, that is ISO-OSI reference model, and the another one is TCP/IP model. In today's session, we are going to discuss ISO-OSI reference model. The ISO-OSI reference model is the layered architecture to reduce the design complexity. Now, let us see the ISO-OSI reference model architecture. For that, let us consider host A and host B and the layers for that. The first layer is physical layer. Second layer above physical layer is data link layer. The third layer above data link layer is network layer. The fourth layer above network layer is transport layer. The fifth layer above transport layer is session layer. The sixth layer above session layer is presentation layer. And the last seventh layer is application layer. So the ISO OSI reference model has 7 layers in their architecture. Similarly, at the host B side, these 7 layers are there. So the first layer is physical layer, then data link layer, then network layer, transport layer, session layer, then presentation layer, and the last one is application layer. So these are the 7 layers of ISO OSI reference model at host A and host B side. Now, the communication interface between application layers of host A and host B uses application protocol. Similarly, between presentation layer, there is presentation protocol. Then, for session layers, a protocol is used which is called as session protocol. And similarly, for transport layer, it is called as transport protocol. Now, for the below 3 layers, that is physical layer, data link layer, and network layer, let us consider a boundary which is called as communication subnet boundary, which provides the host router configurations for each layer, that is for network layer, for data link layer, and for physical layer. So in this communication subnet boundary, these are the routers. So this is called as host to router protocols for physical layer, host to router protocol for data link layer, and host to router protocol for network layer, which forms the communication subnet boundary. So here the subnet is the collection of communication links and routers. Now let us see the name of exchange unit for each layer. That means for physical layer, the data will be in terms of bits. For data link layer, it will be in terms of frames. For network layer, it will be in terms of packets. For transport layer, the exchange unit is called as TPDU, which means Transport Protocol Data Unit. For session layer, it is called as SPDU, which means Session Protocol Data Unit. For presentation, the unit is PPDU, which is called as Presentation Protocol Data Unit. And last, for application layer, it is called as APDU, which means Application Protocol Data Unit. These are the exchange units for each layer. So this is the overall architecture view of ISO OSI reference model with each 7 layers, and for each layer with each exchange units. Now let us consider the each layer and its role in detail. First, let us consider the physical layer. The physical layer is the main or first layer of OSI model, which plays the role of interacting with actual hardware and signaling mechanism. It is the only layer of OSI network model which actually deals with the physical connectivity of two different stations. Physical layer provides its services to data link layer, that is its above layer. The data link layer hands over frames to physical layer. Physical layer converts them to electrical pulses which represent binary data. The binary data is then sent over the wired or wireless media. Now the next is data link layer. The data link layer is second layer of OSI layered model. This layer is one of the most complicated layers and has complex functionalities and liabilities. The data link layer works between two hosts which are directly connected in some sense. This direct connection could be point-to-point or broadcast. At the receiving end, data link layer picks up data from hardware which are in the form of electrical signals, assembles them in a recognizable format, and hands over to upper layer. So this is the data link layer, which is in between physical layer and network layer. Now let us see next, that is network layer. In the OSI model, the third layer is called as network layer. Network layer manages options pertaining to host and network addressing, managing subnetworks and internetworking. Network layer has the responsibility for routing packets from source to destination within or outside a subnet. Now, as already discussed, subnet is a collection of communication links and routers. So, the network layer has to route packets from source to destination within or outside that particular subnet. Networks layer's duty is to route the packets from source to destination, mapping different addressing schemes and protocols. So this is the network layer, which is in between data link layer and transport layer. Now let us consider the next, the transport layer. It is in between the session and network layer. The transport layer is the fourth layer in the OSI model, and it is responsible for end-to-end communication over a network. The basic function of the transport layer is to accept data from above, split it up into smaller units if required, pass this to the network layer, and ensure that the pieces all arrive correctly at the other end. That means the transport layer has to make sure that each unit is arrived correctly at the other side. So this is the main function of transport layer. Now let us consider the next layer, that is the session layer. The session layer is a layer between presentation layer and transport layer. This layer allows users on different machines to establish sessions between them. Sessions offer various services including dialog control, that means keeping track of whose turn it is to transmit, token management, that is preventing two parties from attempting the same critical operation at the same time, and synchronization, that means checkpointing long transmissions to allow them to continue from whether they were after a crash. That means The session layer has main three roles. First one, dialog control. Second one, token management. And third one, synchronizations. Now let us see the next, presentation layer. Unlike lower layers, which are mostly concerned with moving bits around, the presentation layer is concerned with the syntax and semantics of the information transmitted. In order to make it possible for computers with different data representations to communicate, the data structures to be exchanged can be defined in an abstract way, along with a standard encoding to be used on the wire. That means this layer deals with how it will look at the user side, or how it will be given to the application layer in terms of syntax and semantics. The last layer is the application layer. The application layer contains a variety of protocols that are commonly needed by users. One widely used application protocol is HTTP, that means Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which is the basis for the World Wide Web. When a browser wants a web page, it sends the name of the page it wants to the server using HTTP, and the server then sends the page back. Other application protocols which are used for file transfer, electronic mail, and network news, which is at the application layer. So these are the different protocols, and the main application protocol here used is HTTP. So these are the all detailed or major roles of each layer. Now let us see one video which will make your concept more clear. So I hope this is clear to you now. These are the references, your GTU syllabus, your textbook and some other websites you can refer through, and this is the YouTube link of the video which you have seen earlier. Thank you for listening.